What's up, everyone? Happy, let's see, this is Thursday. I'm releasing this on a Thursday. I was having a last Wednesday, so this is 8 days ago Wednesday. I was kind of looking at the APBA website, trying to see. I keep waiting for that 1986 football season to come out because it's one of my favorite seasons of all time. The Browns went 12-4 that year, and other than that whole drive thing at the end of the season, everything else up to there was really good. The double overtime playoff game against the Jets. I mean, the whole season was a lot of fun. And they don't have that season. That's why I have 89 right now. That's why most of my games I'm doing on this channel are from 1989. But I was looking for another season. So I have the 1958 season, which is a long, long time ago. Only what, 16 teams, I think it is. So I thought, let me kind of look around. Well, then the next day, I posted a video and I got a comment from uh, Jim P4D, who said, "Why don't you play the Cardiac Kids season? Just the Browns. It might cheer us Browns fan up." Which at the time we needed cheered up. Now we had a great win last weekend, so that was nice. But so I was looking around. I thought maybe I will look at another season. This kind of got me going. Like maybe I will go ahead and get another season. Kind of excited a little bit. Um, so I went back to the website and I picked the season. Now, his comment pretty much gave away which season I went with. But in case you don't know what year the Cardiac Kids was, let's go ahead and open this. And we're going to get a big old box here. Oh, we got two boxes. And we're going to get some team envelopes. Cards. Get some envelopes. And an empty box. So, I have a season now. Oh, I took my knife in the other room. Let's see if this pen will work. I have another season. Now, I don't plan on playing an entire season with this one. But I'm going to try to play as many of the Browns games as I can. Just for fun. Let's see what half we have here. Oh, it's all of them. So as you can tell, if you're looking here, let's see if I can just do this. Is it going to work that way? Yeah, we've got the 1980 season, which again, that is the Cardiac Kids Brown season. I'll be honest with you, this is probably, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 years before I really became a football fan. I mean, I have some vague memories of, I remember the hook and ladder. That's what, Dolphins and Chargers, I think it was. And that was a Tony Nathan to one of the marks, maybe. I do remember that. I think that was like 1981. But really, in terms of just football, I don't really have much of a memory until about 1984. So this is a little bit before my time. I never really got to see Brian Sipe play live. As far as I know, I don't remember it if I had. I think this is the Red Right 88 season. Or, yeah, Red Right 88. Is that right? Season when the Browns lost to, I want to say, the Raiders in the playoffs. So we're going to go ahead and play a couple. I'm going to play a bunch of games from this season. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to interrupt my 1989 every now and then to play some 1980 and some 1958. That's kind of the plan right now. And I have a fun little thing that I'm going to start doing with my very next game that I'm going to play. So let me get this open. Let me find Cleveland. And we'll take a look at them here. I feel like I could have done all this ahead of time, but for some reason, people like to watch unboxings, and I guess this is an unboxing. So, actually, I like to watch unboxings, so whatever the some reason is, I'm part of it too. All right, so what do we got? We should have Atlanta. Yeah, so Cleveland should be here somewhere. There's Cincinnati. Let's take a look at Cincinnati first, because I have memories of some of their players. Let's see. Okay, here we go. There's the beginning. That's going to be the beginning of Cincinnati. And this should be the end. No, that's not the end. This is the end. Cincinnati. Cleveland. 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 Is that right? I'll just do that. All right. So let's look at Cincinnati first because they're the team I grabbed first here. See if I remember any of these guys. Okay, so Kenny Anderson is a guy that I do remember. Had a great mustache. He's a quarterback 3. Okay. Jim Breach, I remember him. Louis Breeden. See, these are some of the names I do remember. Probably when I became a fan, in the early 80s, but after this time. Ross Browner, these guys were still playing for Cincinnati. A lot of 3s for Cincinnati. A lot of Isaac Curtis. Did they have Collinsworth during this year? No, I missed him. When did Collinsworth come on the team? I thought he would have been on here already. Archie Griffin. Okay, I know that name. He went to Ohio State. Let's see. Did he go to Ohio State? Yeah. Let's see. Brian Hicks, Rod Horn, Dick Geron. Oh, I know he played for them. He was a coach. He coached the Bears for a while. Pete Johnson, he's a 4. I remember him. He's a fullback 4, so he's a good one. Dave Lapham. Is Dave Lapham the voice? Is he the color guy? Not play by play, but the color guy on the radio, the guy that I can't stand on the Bengals radio. That dude. I understand that you're a homer, but that dude takes it to another level. Pat McAnally, I remember that name. He's a punter. Max Montoya is what's his name? Who was the big didn't they have an offensive lineman 5? Munoz, he's a 4. He's a Hall of Famer, I think. Anthony Munoz. He's a pretty good player. Tackle 4. So they don't really strike me as Ken Riley's a 4. He's a cornerback 4. So I guess they got an okay. They look like they're an average team. I don't know what they were for the year. But they look like they have a pretty average team, Cincinnati. Let's look at Cleveland. The whole reason I bought them is to look at the Browns. Let's see. I'm also interested in the Dolphins. Is that it? Did I get it? So Alzado, Willis Adams. Yeah, here we go. So let's turn this one this way. All right, so we got Lyle Alzado, an end 5. Ooh, nice. I like to see that already. Right off the bat, I like to see a 5. Willis Adams, I remember him, wide receiver. Dick Ambrose, 3. Ron Bolton, 4, because they got some players. Let's see, Don Cockcroft, I didn't even play for them. Bill Cowher, ooh, another good mustache. Let's see, Tom Darden, 3. Joe DeLamalore, guard 5. Look at this. They got Joe DeLamalore, guard 5, and right behind it, Tom DeLeon, center 4, and right behind him, Doug Deacon, tackle 4. All right, we're going to have a good offensive line in this one. I'm excited about this. Maybe even Deshaun Watson could be... Well, probably not. Johnny Evans, Ricky Feature, I remember him. Don Good, Charlie Hall. So yeah, some of these names, Dino Hall. A lot of these names are actually pretty familiar to me. Calvin Hill, Robert Jackson, Robert Lee Jackson, 2 different people. Lawrence Johnson. There's Dave Logan. That's the best mustache in football right there, Dave Logan. You got Clay Matthews, should be a Hall of Famer. And then you got this guy. This guy right here. When I was like 8 years old, I went to an autograph signing at a grocery store for that guy. And I got in line. And all he did was talk to the pretty girl. He barely even looked my way to sign the autograph. I was so annoyed. I've hated him my entire life because of that. So he'll never get into the game for me. He's a 1. I need to petition APBA to see if I can get like a 0 rating, because that's really what needs to happen there. Cleo Miller, I'm not bitter or anything. I'm just saying. Ozzie Newsome, he's a 4. He should be a 5. Come on now. I bet they docked that 1 point away when he went with Cleveland to Baltimore to be their really, really good general manager. Let's see. Greg Pruitt and Mike Pruitt, no relation. Cody Risen is a 3. Funny story about Cody Risen. In my previous life, I sold video editing and scouting software that I actually wrote, and I worked for a small company. I remember I was in Texas. I was in Garland, Texas, and I looked up on the wall, and there was a picture. I think it was Cody Risen. Let's see, where'd he go to college? Texas A&M. Yeah, it had to be Cody Risen. Cody Risen's, and I'm like, and I look, and I'm like, why do you guys have a picture of Bernie Kosar on your wall? And it's it's a decent sized school district in Texas, Garland. I think at the time they had 6 schools. I don't know what they have anymore. This was probably, God, this had to be like 2002, maybe 1999, 2000, somewhere in there. And they said, no, that's not a picture of Bernie Kosar. That's a picture of Cody Risen. His brother's the head coach. And I was so annoyed that I was there on a Saturday and the head coach wasn't there. I was really disappointed. I'd have loved to have met him. Then we've got Reggie Rucker. I remember him. Good one. Clarence Scott, Jerry Shirk. He's only 2. Brian Sipe. Oh, I didn't know this. I knew he was good that year, but Brian Sipe is a QB5. Let's see if I can do this. Is this better if I hold it here? No, it's definitely not better. Yeah, Brian Sipe is a QB5. I'm really excited to play with him now. Let's see. Clarence. They don't have much in the way of like really good receivers. It looked like all they had were a bunch of 3. I guess Newsome was a 4. And I think it was Greg Pruitt that caught a bunch of passes for him. So it's going to be really exciting to play with these guys. Let's look for the Dolphins. I'm really interested in Miami. Oh, good. They're right in the front over here. I know that Miami in the 70s had those killer bees, those bees defense. Oh, some of Miami is there. Some of them are over here. When I was a kid, Miami was kind of like my second favorite team, mostly because I loved Dan Marino. Now, I know he's not playing for him here. He didn't come till '84. But I'll definitely play with them. What we got here? There we go. All right, so Miami, we got anybody good here that I'm going to recognize? Carl Barish, built a lot of twos. Okay, Bob Baumhauer, one of the killer bees. Doug Bodoin? Bodoin? I wouldn't count him as a killer bee, even though he's got a B last name. He's a 2. Let's see. Don Besselu? He's one of them. He's a 3. And wait, why does he have 2 cards? Oh, why does he have 2 cards? Oh, he has a kick returner card. That's really interesting. He's got, I don't know if I've seen this before. He's got 2 cards. One, he is, where are we at here? There we go. One, he is a kick returner and a backup punt returner. And in the other one, he's a W4. Oh, probably because he's got an R in his interception column. He's got a K in his fumble recovery column, but then you need to put the kick return and punt returns together. So he's got 2 cards for that reason. Wow. Then you got Doug Betters, another killer bee. Glenn and, is it Lyle? Oh, I thought they had Glenn and Lyle Blackwood on this team. He's a 3. Kim Bocamper's another one. Jimmy Cephalo. Vern Den Herder, I remember him. AJ Dewey, I remember AJ Dewey. He's a 4. Yeah, a lot of good players on this team. I'm looking forward to playing with this team too. Nick Giaquinto also has 2 cards. Wow, interesting. Cleveland, I don't know who these guys are. Bob Greasy, he's a 3. I think I've mentioned before that my favorite Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie, one of them is called The Final Sacrifice, and there's a guy in this movie who has a picture of what's supposed to be his dad, and it looks exactly like, who was the running back? Oh, man, I think he just died. What was his name? Oh, Jerry. Oh. Yeah, just go with me on this. Yeah, the running back. And there were all kinds of Miami Dolphins jokes, including Bob Greasy and Jim Kick jokes, which made me happy. Bruce Hardy, Duriel Harris. Yeah, this is before the marks. Bob Kuchenberg. Yeah, they got a pretty good team of mostly 3s with some 4s. Nat Moore. Wasn't he the one that got flipped up in the air and he looked like a windmill or whatever they call it, getting flipped around in circles? Tony Nathan has 2 cards. Wow. Let's see. Terry Robisky, ex-Cleveland Browns coach. Steve Shull. Gerald Small. I don't know him. He's a cornerback 4. He's got a W7. He intercepted some passes that year. Gerald Small. Don Strock. That's about it. And then they, of course, they have the great Uwe von Schamann, the kicker. And that's about it for them. David Woodley. Let's look at, let's do it. Let's look at the Steelers. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what I'm going to have to put up with. Where are we at? Philly, Pittsburgh. There we go. Whoa, St. Louis. Okay, so it was the St. Louis Rams back then. I like that. It should still be the St. Louis Rams. Let's see. Oh, man, they got a lot of guys with A in their name. There we go. All right, so Pittsburgh, we got, let's go to the guys that are greater than, wait, I didn't know this. Wait, really? He played for Pittsburgh before Cleveland? I may not be able to sleep tonight. Jesus. John Banaszak, Theo Bell, Rocky Blyer, Mel Blount, Bradshaw. Bradshaw's a 3 in this season. I guess we're winding down the end of his career. That would be my guess. I don't know how long he played. We're looking Robin Cole. So I met Robin Cole again back in my previous life. I was at a trade show in Pittsburgh and I hung out with Robin Cole. Didn't tell him I was a Browns fan. I probably did tell him I was a Browns fan. He probably took pity on me. Let's see. Mean Joe Green. He's only a 3. Yeah, we're definitely getting to the end of like the powerful Steelers of the 70s here. L.C. Greenwood, also only a 3. I would have expected those guys to be a little higher. Jack Ham, there you go. He's a 4. Yeah, Jack Ham's pretty good. So Pittsburgh was probably a pretty good team. I'm going to have to look. I have the Pro Football Reference open on my other screen here. Franco Harris. And I'm going to see. Let's see. Anybody else? Lambert. There's Lambert. He's a 5. Even his card is ugly. Yeah, he's really good. So they must have had a pretty good. Another. I love to point out the mustaches. Mark Malone. Fantastic mustache. Tyrone McGriff. I don't know who that is. Let's see. Donnie Shell. He's a 5. Okay. So Pittsburgh looks like they had some talent. John Stallworth. Lynn Swan's a 4. Stallworth was only a 3. Oh, man. And that might... Oh, Mike Webster's a 5. So they actually have a pretty good team here. It'll be interesting to play with them and see how they do. What else? Who else do we want to see? I don't know much about 1980 other than like I know that the Browns were the cardiac kids. If I open this up, let's look at the standings for that year. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that on this thing. That's just the schedule. See if I can just look at the standings and let's see who was good that year. Let's see who won. Wow, wait. Earl Campbell had 1,900 yards. He played for Houston, right? So let's look at Houston. I don't think Warren Moon is going to be on this team. He wasn't even in the CFL yet. Dallas. This is Chicago. Okay, let's find Houston. There they are. I don't know. Is there any team that you want to see cards for? If there are, give me a comment, and then on my next video, I'll take some time at the end and I'll show some of the cards if you want to see them. Come on, Houston. There they are. Let's see. There we go. All right, so Houston. I'm gonna find Earl Campbell. Let's see. Mike Barber is a 3. Elvin Bethea. Greg Bingham. I remember some of these guys. Robert Brazil is a 5. I do remember him. Here's Earl Campbell. Look at that card, Earl Campbell. I love seeing those Ks, and then I like seeing the 1 in the passing column and the 2s in the rushing column. I really hope I can roll some 66s with him. He's a good-looking one. Let's go. Who's their quarterback? Who was their quarterback? See if I can find any more 5s here and figure out who their quarterback was. Oh, Leon Gray. He's a tackle 5. I don't know who that is, but again, he's a 5. I love it when these teams have 5s. It's just great. I just can't figure out who their quarterback is. Oh, there it is. Gifford Nielsen. I remember him from collecting football cards. He's a 2. Is he their starter? Oh, Kenny Stabler. Kenny Stabler played for Houston. I didn't know that. He's a 3. Yeah. Let's look. 45, he's got an 11. That's not bad. At 25, he has a 7. 31 and 51, he has an 8 and a 7. That's pretty good, actually. Let's see. All right, let's look at who else was good. Okay, I got the standings in front of me. Buffalo, Cleveland, San Diego. Was that a Fouts year? Are we in Air Coryell territory? Let's see. Where are you at, San Diego? There they are. San Diego always reminds me. Denver, San Diego, the Raiders, that division, that AFC West. When I think back of like the olden times, for me at least, when I first started watching football, I'm always reminded of, it always reminds me of like Christmas time and like putting up a Christmas tree and having like the Broncos playing the Chargers or something like that, whatever that division was. And for some reason, I always think of the show Bosom Buddies at the same time. I feel like it was on back then after football. I could be wrong, but that's just what I think of. Let's see. What's San Diego have? They have Rolf Benershka. Nice. Fred Dean. He's a defensive end 5. That's pretty good. What's his? Does he have a sack number? Where you at, Fred Dean? QS 7. Okay, not bad. Let's find. There's Fouts. So Fouts is only a 4. So in your face, Dan Fouts. Brian Sipe was better. Haha. I really like Dan Fouts. That's not a great mustache. That's just a great beard. Come on. There we go. All right. So was he throwing to, who were his receivers? Does he have Winslow? Let's see. John Floyd. Don't know who that is. He was a 2. John Jefferson. Okay, that's one of them. John Jefferson is a 5. He's an A8. Yeah, he's pretty good. So Fouts to Jefferson's probably going to be a pretty big combo. Gary Johnson, defensive tackle 5. Look at this. So back to back to back. We get Jefferson, we get Gary Johnson tackle, and we get Charlie Joyner, also a 5, A7. So that's, you know what? After I play the Browns, I could play San Diego. Louis Kelcher, he's a 4. There you go. Let's see. Are there any other teams I care about? I don't really know much about the NFC back then. Only fantasy football is what's gotten me in touch with the NFC over the last 34 years. Yeah, we're not seeing much of anything here in terms of 5. or even 4 really. For San Diego. Oh, Doug Wilkerson, he's a guard. Yeah. Oh, Winslow. Okay, so Winslow. So Winslow was a 5. So they had Joyner, Jefferson, and Winslow as their receivers, their top 3 receivers, and they're all 5s. Okay, that's going to be a fun offense right there. On the defensive side, let's look at the league leaders here. You got Dan Fouts passing, 4,700 yards. Earl Campbell, 1,900 yards, and then John Jefferson, 1,300 yards. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 3 straight Cleveland games for all of you Cleveland fans, and hopefully there are some non-Cleveland fans that won't mind that. I'm going to start out playing the 1980 week 1 game between Cleveland. I believe it was at Cincinnati. Let me make sure here. Weekly league schedule. Cleveland at, where are we at? Oh, no, wait, it wasn't. This was New England at Cleveland. This was New England at Cleveland. Cleveland won the game. No, New England won the game 34-17. That'll be a fun one to play. Let's look at them real quick, too. I don't really know much about New England in 1980. As I'm sitting here, I can't name one player. In fact, I don't know, was John Hanna on that team? There we go. New England. Oh, man. Okay, Raymond Claiborne. Hold on, I'm going to pull it out here in a second. Let's see. Okay, here we go. New England. Where are you at? All right, here we go. All right, New England has... All right, so this is going to be who the Browns are going to play in week 1. This will be the next game I play. Julius Adams, okay, defensive end 4, I know him. Sam Adams, well, of course, New England has a Sam Adams. Let's see. Don Calhoun, fullback 4, I don't know him at all. He's got some good numbers, though. 15s, 16s, and 17s, and 18s all over the place. That's pretty good. Matt Cavanaugh, I wonder if he was their starter. He's a 3, Matt Cavanaugh. There he is. Matt Cavanaugh, 3. Then you've got, let's see, Raymond Claiborne was a 3. I know him. Vegas Ferguson? No idea who that is. But it's a great first name, Vegas. Chuck Foreman, fullback 2. I think was he the one that played for the Vikings for a while? I don't know. Russ Francis, okay, he's a tight end. He's a 4. There he is. Look at that. Cleveland's own, an eventual Cleveland Brown, Bob Golick. He's a 2 here. I didn't know he started out with New England. Steve Grogan, that's a name I do know. He's a 3. John Hanna, he's a 5. I figured he was on this team. I think he might be a Hall of Famer. He's really good. Mike Haynes is a 4. Let's see. Harold Jackson is a wide receiver 3. So we got some decent players on this team. Not a lot, but a pretty good amount here. Steve McMichael. Is that the same Steve McMichael that played for the Bears? Nose tackle 2. Stanley Morgan. Yeah, he's good. He's a 4. Here we go. Steve Nelson, inside linebacker 5. I have no idea who that is, except that he's apparently really good. Went to North Dakota State, according to the card. Yeah. And he's a year older than my dad. And my mom. All right. Look at that. Wow, that's a good one. Sorry, I read that wrong. Rod Schote. I've heard that name before. John Smith. He's their kicker. For the longest time in that game, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but in that game where they snow plowed for New England to kick a field goal and win 3-0, I think over Miami. I always thought John Smith was the guy on the tractor, but I just recently learned that he's a kicker and a kickoff guy for New England. But maybe later in life he was. Somebody clear that up for me because I don't know the answer to that. Mosi Tutupu. And okay. This should be an interesting game. So this will be the first game I play. It'll be New England versus Cleveland. And that'll be the next game you see on the channel. And then after that, I'm going to go back to 1958. And I'm going to play a week 2 game, which is Cleveland at Pittsburgh. And that ought to be kind of fun. So we're going to play New England. We're going to play Pittsburgh. And then after that, I'm going to go to my 1989 season. I'm going to play the week 3, which is the week that I'm currently in. I'm going to play the Monday night game, which was Cincinnati at Cleveland. So we're going to play New England, 1980, Pittsburgh, 1958, and Cincinnati, 1989. And I feel like these are 3 teams that the Browns, obviously with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, are somewhat of a rivalry. I mean, it's not really a rivalry if you don't win very often, but somewhat of a rivalry. And then New England, I've kind of felt a bit of a rivalry there just because of Bill Belichick and how much I think he's overrated and I can't stand him. But I mean, I'm not bitter that he cut Bernie Kosar in 1993. Whatever, it happens. So those should be three actually really fun games to play. So look for those coming up. And again, if you want to see any of the teams, I can run through them real quick like I just did. I'll do it at the end of the next video. Just leave me a comment. Let me know what team you want to see. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll talk to you next time.